Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk a bunch of animated shows and movies here with new podcasts every other Wednesday. Find everything about us at overlyanimated.com. I'm your host, Dylan Heisen, and today I'm joined by Beatriz Murad.
Hello.
And Ali Martin.
Hey.
Today we have a very exciting extended podcast, probably, we don't know how long it's going to be yet, on where we'll be crowning the best anime OP song of all time. This is our follow-up podcast to our animation theme song bracket, which we did earlier this year, where we crowned, I won't spoil what we crowned as the greatest animation theme song of all time, but we had one of the four regions in that bracket was anime OPs, some of our favorites. And now we're going to be following up on that with a bracket of all anime OPs, 32 of the consensus all-time best anime OP opening songs or theme songs. That's kind of what OP stands for. We'll be facing off here, and we will pick our favorite as the winner. That's the concept here. A lot of information at the top here, so I'm going to start going through that as I explain this exercise. This idea was originally from Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast, where they did a theme song bracket. We turned an animation theme song. Now this is anime OP bracket. So we will be playing these songs on the podcast. That's another essential part of this. So you will hear these OPs. You do not need to know them. Even if you've not watched any of these animes, you can still listen. We're just judging the songs, so you can follow along. See the podcast description for timestamps for probably the regions, I guess. We'll see how specific I get. And for images of the empty and completed brackets, don't click on the completed one if you don't want spoilers. But if you want to follow along, you can click on the before bracket image and follow along on the bracket with us. So there are, I would say, tens of thousands, if not more, of anime OPs. And we are only doing 32 here. So this
Very
is
limited.
Yeah, this is an incredibly hard exercise to limit the field to 32. So we're like, okay, if we just pick what we think are the best 32, I don't know if that's going to go over so well. So I tried to do this scientifically. I took 5 lists that I found online that are other people's opinions, not my opinion, and I aggregated them. And so like, you know, what someone thought is 1, 2, 3, you know, and I weighed and assigns, numbers to those and tallied it up. So we have 32 of the ones that other people thought are some of the top anime OPs of all time. If you want the exact details, I'll put stuff in the podcast description. I have the 5 lists I use. That'll be in the description. But for the specifics, I took the top ones of my aggregate that were there on at least 2 lists, plus the next 2 that were only on 1 list, plus one of the JoJo OPs, plus Madoka was the returning champion from our anime segment last bracket, so that came into this one. And then most excitingly, we have 3 spots just for our individual, or what I'm calling wildcard picks. So each of the 3 of us gets to insert 1 OP into the bracket without nothing anyone can say about it. So there will be a 3 non-consensus of these 32, plus Madoka wasn't one either, and we put it in. So we have, we don't know what each of our wild cards are yet. That's one of the more exciting parts of this. We don't know what we picked. We don't know the full bracket, and that will be revealed when we get to the matchup. So you will hear our reactions to each other's wild card picks as we get to those in the bracket. Other qualifications, the Pokemon theme song is not included here, the English version. That was my judgment call. I only wanted OPs that aired in Japan. Doesn't mean that they're in Japanese. Some of these are in English, but if they're in English, that means the English one was what aired in Japan.
Or they're in like another language.
Or another language, yeah. So sometimes Japan, loves things in English. So there's some of these that are English. And we're only playing considering the 90-second versions that aired during the episodes. You probably, if you listen on a playlist, you listen to the full version. We're only considering the 90-second version here for this exercise. Okay. How are we going to pick the theme songs? As I mentioned, it's just the music. Not the visuals. That's key. So, if Ali and Beatriz, if you need to tab out of we're going to share YouTube links, whether you want to watch or not watch the visuals, if you think it'll bias you, we're trying to only judge the music here. And then the process is the 3 of us each get 1 vote, and the most votes wins for that matchup. How you choose is up to each of us. So you don't need to do criteria. I want to emphasize this, because we just had a podcast where we with Ali was on, we specifically did have criteria for the cursed character.
That was very difficult.
We're not
for this. I'm glad there's no criteria.
No criteria.
Criteria is your own bias, basically.
Whatever your bias. So personally, I'm going to try to pick what I think is the quote unquote best one. But that has my own biases included in it, right? So, and we're going to go over that in the beginning here. So you don't have to, if you want to pick your favorite, that's fine. We're trying to, I will say we are trying to crown the best anime OP of all time, whatever that means to you. Okay. If you are listening on YouTube, switch over to a podcast version because I cannot put the full version on YouTube here. I am afraid of copyright claims. So the YouTube version is truncated. I'll have links in the description or go to overlyanimated.com, find it on your favorite podcast app and listen to the rest there. We'll see you guys over on the full version.